It's been a week since it actually happened. I think now I'm prepared to tell the story in a dry, sober, dispassionate way. And really, I'm not kidding. I've been talking to grasshoppers for many years. They like to mimic a dance. Here's how that works. You gotta put your arms up and you gotta go ring, and they'll do it back. And if you want to really check to see if they're paying attention, you give them the old one of these, and then they'll do their antenna back at you. It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. So anyway, last week we're here moving some stuff around, getting ready to go help out at somebody else's house, and I noticed this grasshopper's down here. And the next time I walk by, he's up here. And then I stop and talk to him and say, "Hey, how you doing?" And he kind of kept on walking. And I said, "Hey, I do the dance." And he stops and he does the dance. Like wild. I stop doing the dance, he stops doing the dance. Okay. Do it again. Nice, nice. Give him the old antenna fingers. And he stops and he bows his head and he does his antenna fingers. And so I stuck my finger out like this. And he stood out on one arm, one of his front paws, his front left paw. And then he bent down and he like nibbled my finger like twice. And then he stood back up and he started his walk again. And I noticed that he had a fuzzy abdomen, or his tail or whatever. And I looked it up later. I thought, man, this is a very old grasshopper climbing to the highest point to die. And that's what he was doing, because he probably had summit disease. And the fuzzy I saw at his butt, out of his last half or whatever, was out of the cuticles. That was the sprouting of a fungus. There's a fungus that infects grasshoppers, causes them to climb to a high spot, locks their legs and they die. And then, weather like disperses spores from a high point. But that was really weird. I'm not kidding. The grasshopper really did all that stuff. And it's just like, nope, I'm going on, dude. We'll see you. Anyway, so now I've told the grasshopper story. I advise you, and I invite you to talk to insects. They're listening. Wasps are listening too. They want to hear from you.